So we will continue our Invocation Sutra session B. So because each session has its own topic. So this Invocation Sutra is what the Tao Master recite during the Tao ceremony. So in this particular session, I will talk about the Bagua burner. And let's see, where is the Bagua burner? Get my pen. So the Bagua burner is right here. Okay, that we can see in all the Tao temple. So how can we identify if this is a I-Kuan Tao temple? There's like 4 things that you need to look for. You can see the Lao Mu lamp, the mother lamp, which represent the supreme heaven or the Wuji. And then this is the sun lamp. And this is the moon lamp. And you can see that, or we can call this too, the yin and yang lamp. And the 4th thing that you see is the Bagua lamp. I mean the Bagua burner. So this 4 items, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these 4 items are considered important because this one represents the heaven, the source that we all come from. And these 2 represent the yin and yang, because the yin and yang comes from the void, come from the source. So from the source, there is the yin and yang, there's the duality. So just these 2 lamps, it represents the duality. And once the duality take place, now there's a sentient of being produced, and there's many elements coming to take place. And this is where the Bagua burner comes to continue the story. Yeah, so you will always see the Bagua burner is between this yin and yang lamp. Okay, so who would like to share their angelic voice with us to read this Invocation Sutra? Thank you, Giacomo. And you're going to read the whole thing.
Please remain quiet. Take your places in an orderly manner. Straighten your cloth and listen to this announcement with sincere reverence. Auspicious smoke rises from the Bagua burner. The sacred nurturing Lao Mu is descending to this shrine with Guan Ti to the left and Chu Yan to the right. The 28 constellations protect the shrine. Lao Mu has arrived with all deities attending solemnly, pointing to the right for orders, left for commands. The thunder, wind, tiger, and dragon units all display their prowess. Stand at attention and listen carefully. It is now the 3rd phase, and the great Tao has appeared. All divine beings shall protect this shrine. All spiritual entities shall heed the decree without disobedience. For those who suffer, help them. For those in disasters, save them. For those who are good, assist them. For those with tax, work with them. Let the great catastrophe withdraw far away. The constellation and officials of the spiritual realm receive the command of Mimin Shanti. Attend quickly the heavenly work. Proceed carefully the mission in the 3 realms wars. It shall be so eternally, their retreat must never be permitted. Fulfill your duties and exert your influence over the 3rd phase. The command of Lao Mu passes from me to you. When you see those on the path, help them attain the Tao. Change the universe and let the 12 branches take their position in heaven. The time is nearly upon us. Do not disregard this announcement.
Thank you, Giacomo, for sharing your holy voice with us. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's wonderful every time when I hear you read this Invocation Sutra. So in this slide, we can see that there's a lot of color. There's red. So this red are like sort of like terminology that I want to highlight to you throughout the future session. And Bagua burner, I highlighted in yellow because today we are going to focus on the Bagua burner. And down below, I kind of here, I kind of highlighted in different color so that it's easier to help us to read. It doesn't mean it's a different paragraph. Everything is the same paragraph. So the Invocation Sutra, it comes in different paragraph. So this is just part of it, but this is the introduction. So there's another recital that there's another saying or another speech that the master will read or will pronounce after this one here. Okay, so like what I mentioned today, we are going to focus on the Bagua burner. So why is Bagua burner inside of, is situated between the yin and yang limb? So it's important to understand the concept. I see that Robert has like, is that a question or a clapping hand?
I have oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to use a question.
Okay,
Two
no
things.
problem. No
Because
problem.
I'm not steeped in Buddhism, what is Lao Mu? May I ask? And the other, well, I'll ask that one and then the other. But what is Lao Mu?
That's a super good question. Lao Mu.
There we go.
And because all of us know each other, I don't know if they're familiar with Lao Mu or
Yeah.
if that's.
So
Yeah.
if you look at
Yes, I am.
She's below my level.
Yeah.
She has nothing to teach me.
look at the message on chat box, Lao Mu is equivalent to two words, Lao and Mu. So Lao means old, Mu means mother. So this very much echo with Tao Te Ching, because a lot of ancient literature talks about Lao Mu being the mother, right?
Ah,
Yeah. So
interesting.
this really echoes with Tao Te Ching.
Interesting. One other question. Why does it say change the universe? It says in the last, why does it say change the universe? Down, it says, oh, okay, sorry.
No problem. So changing the universe, it means that, right? Because it's through translation, we cannot elaborate on that, but just for explanation purpose, right now the universe is in the chaos. We all know that there's a lot of pollution, air pollution, the ozone layer, this and that. The human deliver vicious energy. There's a lot of animosity between humankind, the humanoid. So this is what it means, changing the universe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So when I read this one, I kind of think that probably I don't translate correctly. So thank you for bringing this up. I will look into it and hopefully I will come up with a better translation. Or maybe the translation will be
Change the world.
elevate the energy within the universe.
Ah, yes.
So let me put a little note here. And we all know that in the past 200 centuries, I'm sorry, in the past 2 centuries, human create a lot of chaos in the universe and also in the society too, regardless which continent we are in. Okay, well, thank you, Robert, for that great question. So let's go into the term Bagua burner. So we all know what Bagua burner is. So what does that related to the Invocation Sutra. Oh, first of all, this is Bagua. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. Yes.
So some of you, if you live in the Chinese community, maybe you see people hang this up on their front door, or maybe inside their home, or they buy something from the fortune teller and then they just put somewhere in their home. And what is the purpose? Some Chinese will want to purchase this to put it on their door. The purpose is to create a fearful message to the demonic force so that the demonic force do not come upon their household. So how does that sound? If the demonic force, go ahead.
It's a message to demonic force, not the heavenly force.
Thank you, Naman. It's a message to the demonic force, not to the universe. It depends on the intention, but most people have the intention to put this on their door to prevent the demonic force to come into their household. So it's like guarding against the demonic force. So do you understand? So, but I want to explain to you this kind of logic is not healthy, because for those demonic force, that means why when a demonic force come to you? Most likely they are karma, or you're a karmic creditor, or there's somebody who wants to go after you. So you put that in front of your door or in front of your bedroom or somewhere, so the demonic force will not come to you. Does that make sense? But you are not going to stay in the house 24/7. Eventually you are going to come out, right? So when the demonic force want to go into your house, but he's not allowed to go in, and he look at the Bagua sign, he's going to have that kind of energy building inside of him, and that energy is going to build up, and then he's going to say, well, I'm going to just wait outside until you come out. So having this thing in front of your door, I'm telling you, is not a good idea, because it creates more animosity towards to that demonic force, that karmic creditor. Does that make sense? Do you understand this concept? Because this is very important. So if you see your neighbor doing this, I don't want you to be a copycat. Maybe you ask your neighbor, oh, why do you do that? So this neighbor will say, oh, okay, I think this will create peace. If I put this on the door, it's create harmony. It will protect my family. Yes, it will protect your family while you are in the house. But when you go out, it will not protect you. So it's not a good idea. Okay, now we will, in the next few slides, I will explain to you why this is heaven, and why this is lake, and why this is fire, and why this is thunder. So let's begin with the story. So the story begins from this line here. So for our illustration purpose, the straight line means yin, and it's denoted by red. And the broken line, it means yin, and it's denoted by the broken line. So as we know, before everything was evolved, there was, so before the yin and yang, there was the oneness. we talk about the concept of oneness many times. So here is the oneness because there's only one. But before the oneness, what is it? It's nothing. It's void. It's emptiness. But when I say it's emptiness, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It exists, but just it's invisible, it's intangible, it's indescribable. So that force is there. So that force is even before that oneness. But it's difficult to talk about that void or that emptiness on the slide. So I just skip that because it will be just a blank space. So underneath the, and before this straight line, it's called the non-existence. Non-existence because it's invisible, it's intangible, indescribable. Okay, so now we come to this stage. It's a stage of oneness. And from this oneness, it creates the yin and the yang, right? That we all understand. So from oneness, here comes the duality. Okay, and the duality is one yin and one yin. And you can see the straight line and the broken line. Okay, so now we repeat the process. From this oneness, it creates the yin and the yin. It creates its own duality. In other words, it duplicates itself. And same thing for the yin. It also creates too. Because keep in mind that in the yin and yang movement, in the white part, there's the black dot. And in the black part, there's the white dot. Okay, so you can see it's duplicating. Now, it further creates and it further duplicates. You can see this 4 duplication here, right? And then now you see, so this part is a little difficult to understand. Let me explain to you here. So when you put this 3 together, it becomes the earth. So this can be seen more easily based on this diagram here. Okay, I think let's skip this. So this one is made out of this 3 here. So, and this one is made out of this 3 here. So the symbol of lake is made out of broken line and 2 straight line. And the symbol of fire, you can, oh, I'm sorry. The symbol of fire, you can see it's the straight line, broken line, and the straight line. And the thunder is the same. So you see broken line, and straight line. So this is how you can see the wing is being formed from the earlier stage. The water is made out of this broken line, straight line, and broken line. And mountain is made out of straight line, and broken line. And earth is made out of broken line, and broken line. So if you want to study I Ching, this is the first concept that you need to know. How did this 3 symbol form? Or how was it formed? So on this slide, it's more simplified. This is what I did in the earlier time. So in the diagram here, this is the concept of oneness. Before the oneness, here I have the absolute, the sunyata. The Buddhists call it the sunyata, the emptiness. I think Tao Te Ching will refer as emptiness or non-existence, or we can call it purity, or we can call it wuji. or in Kabbalah term, Robert can correct me on this. It's called the Ein Sof and Ein Sof Or.
And so.
Ein Sof. But all these three, it's considered this stage, right? Ein Sof and Ein Sof Or.
Say.
Okay, never mind. It's okay. So all this, we can call it Wuji because all of us, we study Tao, we understand the concept of Wuji. So just to show you that Wuji has a different synonym. And from here, this is the concept of oneness, and it's denoted by one dot, and we call it Taiji. And from Taiji, it creates the duality. We call it the two symbol. Originally, the yin and yang does not have the black dot in the middle. It was the next stage. So this one is the next stage. So let's look at this. So at first it's the little one dot, and then comes the yin and yang, and then comes the yin and yang with the dot inside the black and the dot inside the white. So let's look at how Wuxi interpret this as heaven. So let's look at this. How do we know this is heaven? By looking at the three line here, because let's look at it. Who create this Bagua, or who create this hexagram? I'm sorry, it's called a triagram. Who create this triagram? It's from Fuxi Emperor, or the Saint Fuxi. So he created this hexagram. I'm sorry, the triagram. Because it's three lines, that's why we call it the triagram. He created this he created this 8 triagram to represent all the phenomenon in the universe. So let's study each symbol. So when we study this symbol, it's considered looking at them as an alphabet. So in English, there's 26 alphabet, right? Is it 26 or 24? I never counted. So when you study I Ching, this will be
26.
Thank you, Robert. You are my English teacher. So thank you, Robert. So when we study I Ching, there's total of 8 alphabet that you need to learn. The first alphabet is heaven, second lake, fire, thunder, wind, water, mountain, and earth. So when we look at heaven, why does Fuxi use 3 lines to represent heaven? Because each line represents infinite. It goes beyond. So in Chinese, if we have 1 line, that means it's long and it's continuous. But then having 2 lines, it emphasizes that continuity. And with 3 lines, it represents there's different layers. So just like in heaven, if you look at heaven, there's different heaven, right? And if you look in the sky, actually there's different layers. So that 3 lines represent it's huge, it's endless, it's infinite. And that heaven has many dimensions and many layers. However, because Fuxi have to put it in the 2D dimension. 哪一个椅子来坐? There's a Fuxi Emperor have to put it in the 2D dimension. So the best way that he can do is you just use 3 straight lines. So the 3 rainbow curve line represent it's massive in size. 可以，因为刚刚没人嘛。Helena is here with me in the room. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at Earth. So Earth is the opposite of heaven. So let's look at this picture here. You can see that the lake break up the earth in different pieces, right? So Fuxi is so genius. He used this symbol to symbolize earth. So it's total of 3 broken line. So the land is being separated by water into pieces or many sections. And because the earth also have many dimensions too, right? There's the dimension comes from, if you look at it from far away, there's the earth that's more close to you, and then there's earth more far from you. So it really makes sense to use 3 broken line to represent the earth. Many dimensions, there's land far away from the skyline and the land close by. So due to its thickness and huge size, Fuxi used line to represent its huge size. Okay, so when we think about earth, and there's you can see that here it's being broken, and when you look at this, imagine there's water going through. That's why the earth is being broken into different pieces. You can look at it as like puzzle. And as you can see here too, the earth is also broke into pieces too. Now let's look at wing. Wing, it's interesting. There's different ways to interpret wings. So when we study this alphabet or study this symbol, we just have to be creative. We have to put our mind into Fuxi's mind. What was he thinking to create this symbol? So my interpretation is really from my study and from different book, and from these different books, it explained to me that how Fuxi uses symbol, and it really makes sense. Therefore, I am able to present this to you.
Joanna,
Go
it's
ahead,
also
Robert.
interesting that you have a tree there, because wind is also called wood also. So
I see.
but you also have the leaves blowing from the wind. But it's interesting that you put the tree there, because wind is also called wood.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for Robert bringing this up. As we know, Robert, he has studied I Ching for many years, more than Hoxue. So I welcome his comments as well as other people's comment too. So imagine that there's a tree that you see. So when you see the tree, do you see more of sky or do you see more of the tree? How is the size of the tree compared to the sky that you see? Of course, there will be more sky than the tree, right? And the tree, you can see the tree is made out of different leaves, and then when the wind blow, the leaves kind of scatter around. So this broken line explains the leaf that's blowing around. So when we look at this, we can say, okay, if we put the tree in the scene, when we look at it visually, sky is the majority and wing is the minority, or we can say that the tree is the minority, the leaf is the minority. Therefore, there's two sky. I'm sorry. Therefore, there's two straight line represent the sky, and one broken line that you can say that it represents the wood, because there's different trees in the park, or you can say that the broken line means the leaf. Now let's look at fire. Fire is interesting. So we will have to relate this symbol here with this. So when we see fires, the fire coming out from here, so there's smoke, right? So this represents the fire. And the two straight line represent what? It represents the sky. So there is one sky right here and one sky right here, and the sky is being broken by the smoke. I hope that makes sense. So the middle line is constantly moving. So this one represents the moving line. So when a fire is burning, smoke enters the clouds, darken the sky. The smoke comes from fire, appear in the middle of the sky. Sky is the majority. Because the sky is the majority, that's why there's two straight lines. One right here and one right here. And the smoke is minority. The smoke is in the middle. Therefore, you have ratio of sky and fire 2:1. Another way you can look at it is this one here. If we do a firewood, if we burn a bonfire, and we see the fire is blowing from here, but then there's the scene. There's a scene in the back. So that can also explain this picture here. And what about this? The fireplace. So we can say that maybe this two straight line represent the energy going up, but the energy is being broken by that fire. Next, let's talk about lake. Lake, it's a little difficult. This one could be the most difficult one to interpret because it took me a while to rationalize what this means. So we have to make a story for each one of them. So let's look in the lake. So the lake, the top line move. Let's follow this one. The top line move because you can see this one is the top line. It moves. So if you look in the lake here, there is sky in the lake. Do you see sky in the lake? So here in the lake, we see the reflection of the mountain, but we also see sky in the lake. So let's look at the second bullet. Fuxi looked down the lake, and Fuxi saw sky reflect from the lake. In the lake, he saw most of the reflection on the sky. And because the sky is the majority and lake is the minority. So if we look in the sky, of course, there's a sky right here. And then there's also sky right here. And where's the lake? The lake is considered limited, or it has a boundary. But the sky does not have boundary. The sky in heaven, or when he look up, it's infinite. The sky in the lake is limited. So he kind of put two lines represent the sky. So when you interpret this, you have to consider the sky up on the head and also the sky right here in order for him to formulate this symbol here. So it's one broken line, two straight line. So I hope that you understand this symbol. So if any of the interpretation, you think that it doesn't really resonate with you, you can also come up with your own meaning too, but you have to kind of rationalize it. So, okay.
Joanna,
Go ahead.
later on, each one of the signs, the trigrams, have a kind of meaning. And understand what you're doing is really difficult in a way because it's the beginning of, and it's really interesting what you're doing, and it's difficult, to do that. I mean, and a person, but it's a good thing. I mean, to be able to using your intuition to
Yes.
to do that. But later on, each one of the signs have a whole group of meanings.
Of course,
Like-
but we are not going to go into that.
Right. Okay.
But the purpose of for me to explain this on a simple, because today we are talking about a Bagua burner, and we talk about this.
Right.
And from the Bagua burner, we can see that all the sentient being exists because all the natural phenomenon in the earth, and that's being nurtured by the A triagram. Because
Got it.
without this A triagram, none of the sentient being will exist.
Got it.
Right, Robert?
Got it.
Thank you. So we just finished halfway. So we can sort of put the A triagram in group. So the one that I put it on top, it represents the element that's related more to the sky. Because you can see that there's two sky here, and two sky from the lake, and then three lines for heaven. And the fire, you can see that the sky is being separated by the smoke, right? So this group is more related to the sky. And down below here, you can see that this group is more related to earth. You can see that there's two broken line here. There's two broken line in this symbol here, two broken line here, and then there's three broken line. Therefore, this group is all related to earth. Now, let's go on to thunder. Let's look at this. Thunder is made out of two broken line and one straight line. 请坐. Beneath the earth, something moves. So where does the thunder comes from? It comes from the sky. And when the thunder comes, what happened to the tree? The tree will shatter, right? The branch probably will be broken, and maybe it will create some kind of movement on earth, right? So this is the phenomenon when the thunder come from the sky and come to the earth. So you can see that on the first bullet, beneath the earth, something move. And let's look in the second bullet. Thunder strike the earth, cause earth and ground trembling. Number 3, they are more earth than thunder. So when we look at this picture here, and if we focus on the thunder, is there more thunder or there's more earth? Of course, there's more earth, because the earth, we can see that there's 3 broken lines here. So the earth is infinite. Well, I shouldn't say infinite. Sky is infinite. Earth is just, it's more limited than, earth is more limited than heaven, but this earth, it still has more proportion. It's the majority than the thunder, right? Therefore, earth and thunder is 2-to-1 ratio. So next time when you look at thunder, next time when you look at thunder, you can see that this 2 broken line here, it represents the thunder because it moves, right? But the earth staying the same. Earth is this straight line represent the earth. It represent, yeah, this one, because in each symbol there must be some comparison. What is movement and what is non-movement? So although earth right here is broken line, but this one Fuxi used as a straight line. But if Fuxi used broken line here, that would be confused with this earth too, right? So in order to avoid that confusion, this straight line must be there so that the thunder and the earth will not have a duplicate symbol. So let's look at this. So this one represents the earth, and this two represent the thunder. Now let's look at this water. Water, you can see that water is made out of a two broken line with one straight line in the middle. And this straight line, it's the same concept as how we interpret the thunder. So this one, the symbol here, we would assume that it should be earth. And that means it should be broken line. But if we have three broken line, we would be duplicating the symbol. Therefore, in order to differentiate the earth and water, Fuxi used a straight line here, right, to represent that water symbol. So this straight line here represents earth. Let's look in the first bullet point. Earth is in the middle, and the middle line does not move. What moves is the top line and the bottom line. And the top line and the bottom line flow continuously between the earth. And let me ask you, is there more earth than the water? There's more earth than the water. Is there more water on the earth?
More
More
earth.
water.
I think if we look at if we are not studying I Ching, we will say that there's more water, right? On earth.
70% is water, and 29 to 30% is land.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right about that, Naman. This is really very interesting. I have never seen a description like this. It's really interesting.
Thank you, Robert. And
Yeah.
Nama, can you repeat again how many percent is water?
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
Yeah, so there is this very amazing thing I will tell you. In our body, 70% is water, right? Everyone knows that. Same in earth, 70% is water, 30% is land. So body and earth has same percentage of water.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Nama, for your interpretation. I love it. And I remember when I studied the geography, there is more water than earth. But how would Fuxi come up with this idea? There's more water. There's water.
Because I guess 2/3.
Oh no, I have it.
2/3.
Here. So this one is wrong. It's earth versus water should be 1 to 2, right?
Yeah.
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 Actually, yeah. That's
So now it makes sense. Water is 2. Yeah, that's right. Water. Okay, so we have to follow this symbol here. There's 2 broken lines. So 2 broken line means there's more water than earth. So here, the ratio of earth and water is 1 to 2. So I hope that makes sense. Sorry, I was confusing myself. Okay, so when we look at the symbol, we can look at it as there's earth in the middle and then there's more water. And thank you, Naman, for commenting this. In our physical body and also in the physical earth, there's more water than
land.
the Robert?
More water than land, or
Yeah, there's more water than the land, correct. And for our physical body, we have more water than our bones. There's like more water in our body. Okay, next one we have We only have one more to go. So this is a mountain. Mountain, let's look at how can we interpret mountain. Let's look at the first bullet point. Activities in the middle of the mountain, right? If we see that whatever here, it's actually in the tips of the iceberg. So there's actually a lot more things going on inside the mountain. And that activity is that broken line here. So is there more sky? Is there more non-movement than the movement? Of course. Let's see. Here, Fuxi say there's more movement than the non-movement. So let's look at this. Above the earth, there are many things move. Okay, so we have to think like how Fuxi think, okay? So above the earth, there are many things move, such as the cow, dog, but these are the minor things. And above the earth, the biggest movement is the animal, farming, and the people. Yeah. Movement is the majority, mountain is the minority. So which
Joanna,
one?
this
Go ahead.
one is really, I need to really, really think, because mountain represents in the I Ching stillness.
Correct.
Stillness. It's called stillness.
Correct.
So really.
Okay, so this one on this line on the top is mountain. The line on the top means mountain, but underneath the mountain, there's people, there's animal, and there's farming, and there's volcano movement. So we have to use our intuition or use our imagination to think why Fuxi used this as the symbol. So I understand what you are saying. So let's understand and let's put ourselves in Fuxi's shoes. So Fuxi think that there's a straight line here. This straight line represents the sky or the mountain. And then there's movement underneath the mountain. Or else, how can we interpret this?
Joanna, it can also be like there are tectonic plates below the ground or below the mountain. So tectonic plates usually move and it makes earthquakes. So they are always moving. Like, you know, like Canada, if we go 100 years ago, now Canada is a little bit shifted to north or south, I don't know, but the North Pole has shifted. So there is also tectonic plates moving below the mountain or below the ground. Maybe it could be that. What do you think?
Yes, thank you, Naman. Let me see. So this mountain we can interpret as a sky and mountain. Let's see. So Naman say that
For example, they're saying that parts of Africa, the east part of Africa, within thousands of years is going to break off because of those plates.
Yes.
And form an island or another continent. So Africa will be made up of two continents or a very large island.
Yes, Robert, thank you. Yeah, and we know that we all know that California will have an earthquake soon. We don't know when, so everybody is scared. But
I
let's
felt
just
an earth. I don't know. You said that. I don't know. Last night I felt an earthquake. Either last night or the night before. Did others around feel in California?
yes,
In
yes,
the
yes.
area feel? I felt an earthquake. Was there?
Oh, I did not feel it.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. Well, thank you, Robert, for that comment.
Okay.
So let's go back to Naman's comment. So if we can use different way to interpret it. I mean, this is my interpretation from my understanding from my reading, but Naman interpret as earth. I don't know if I spell this correctly. So Naman say this is earth and plutonic.
It's no, it's tectonic.
tectonic.
It's TEC tech TEC
Yeah, yeah.
tonic TON.
Tectonic.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can look at when we study this, we can come up with our own interpretation. So my interpretation is I look at this as a mountain. Mountain is straight line, and people and animal and all the movement is the two broken line. But Naman's interpretation is the first straight line is earth, and the tectonic plates is the two broken line underneath. Thank you, Naman. Okay, so therefore we have this 8 elements, and this 8 element, the reason I bring it up here, it's because when we're talking about the duality. So with this duality, of course, all the things happens in the universe, and of course we need the earth. With the duality, there's earth, there's mountain, there's water, there's wind, there's thunder, there's fire, lake, and heaven.
Can you go back to you showed a slide very quickly that had other meanings of there.
So probably we can have Robert to share his angelic voice with us.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert. And hold on. And let me put it this way. This is all the interpretation is commentary by King Wen during the Song Dynasty. Go ahead, Robert, to share your angelic.
That's what I was talking about earlier. What you have there. You know, each the heaven represents male, also male strength. Earth represents female. Heaven represents formlessness, light. Earth represents also a form, female, darkness. Wind represents penetration. Thunder represents shock, fear. Water represents danger. But it also represents bringing out goodness. Fire represents illumination, something from the mind, thought. Mountain represents stillness, calmness. Mountain, double mountain, if it becomes a hexagram, is the hexagram for meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Lake represents joy. So it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Robert, for sharing your angelic voice with us. Okay,
Thank
so basically I have complete my sharing here. Let's see, we can go back to read our Invocation Sutra. So before we end our session, let's have one person to share his, it's only his, right? His angelic voice with us.
I'll do it if
Thank you, Angel Robert.
you're welcome. Where do you want me to read? Please remain quiet, or where?
Yes.
Please remain quiet. Take your places in an orderly manner. Straighten your clothes, and something's covering. I can't read the.
Really?
I'm in my computer. It's covering the and listen. Oh, it's listen to this announcement with sincere reverence. Auspicious smoke rises from the Bagua burner. The sacred naturing Lao Mu is descending to this shrine with Guandi to the left and Xuan Yang to the right. The 28 constellations protect the shrine. Lao Mu has arrived with all deities attending solemnly, pointing to the right for orders, left for commands. The thunder, wind, tiger, and dragon units all display their prowess. Stand at attention and listen carefully. It is now the third phase, and the great Tao has appeared. All divine beings shall protect this shrine. All spiritual entities shall heed the decree without disobedience. For those who suffer, help them. For those in disaster, save them. For those who are good, assist them. For those with tasks, work with them. Let the great catastrophe withdraw far away. The constellations and officers of the spiritual realm receive the command of Ming Ming Sheng Di. Attend quickly the heavenly work. Proceed carefully the mission in the three worlds. It shall be so eternally that retreat must never be permitted. Fulfill your duties and exert your influence over the third phase. The command of Lao Mu passes from me to you. When you see those on the path, help them attain the Tao. Change the universe and let the 12 branches take their positions in heaven. The time is nearly upon us. Do not disregard this announcement.
Thank you, Robert, for sharing your angelic voice with us.
You're welcome. I'm flapping my wings right now.
Okay, so before we leave here, I want to explain to you here, 明明上帝. 明明上帝 is the same as 老母. So in the future session, I will explain to you the real name of 明明上帝. 明明上帝 is the name of our 老母, or we call it God, the universe, the source. Ming Ming Sangdi, its name is very long, but because most people, because it's very long, it doesn't make sense to say such a long name. So here, the Invocation Sutra just have Ming Ming Sangdi. So when we see Ming Ming Sangdi, it's the same as we say Lao Mu. And let's see, in the future session, I will talk about, let's see, 观地 居左. So there's 观地 here. In our next session, I'll talk about 观地 and 纯阳. And then also the 28 constellation. Okay, Norman, are you able to take screenshot? So
Yeah,
do you have any more? Do you have any question? If not, I want to share some story with you. And this story is very relevant to the concept of what Giacomo was talking about. He received that gush of energy when he goes to the temple in Rome. And that also reminds us the precious of receiving Tao. Thank you, Robert, for sharing your angelic voice with us.
You're welcome.
Okay, so if there's no more question, I will go ahead and share my story with you. It's not my story. It's a story that I'm going to share. Okay, so the first story is from Miss Lin. The Chinese name is called Lin Jingjian. So my last name and her last name is the same. Both are the same last name. Her whole name is called Lin Jingjian. So let's see. I don't know if it's, hold on. First of all, I want to show you an image. Oh, So this is her. Okay. So the story, it's about this bus. It's a school bus, and she was burned to death. And this is the bus. This is the story that I'm going to share with you. So just have this image in your mind. Okay. Let's see. So this happened in 1992. It's more than 10 years ago. So she is a kindergarten teacher, and she take the kids to field trip, and she's a loving teacher. And when she was young, she loved to work with kids. Therefore, she chose to be a kindergarten teacher. And on this particular day, she take the kids. Everybody hop onto the bus to go for a field trip. And that incident happened. 23 kids die. I mean, the number is 23, and 2 are parents, teacher, and kids. So there were 9 injuries. So because of this death, I will explain to you later. She later on become a deity, but that position, the deity position, can only hold her for 500 years. Okay, so this is what she say. My soul did not come out from the right place. They told me I did not receive Tao. Who are they? They are the deity or the Buddha tell her that her soul did not come out of the right place. Because in our body, we have different channel. We have our eyes, our ears, our mouth, our nose, and our umbilical cord. So if it doesn't come out from the right place, then it's not good. But all of us, we have received Tao, and we know that that place is supposed to come from our third eyes, right? So let's continue. Living Buddha told me to tell the story, as most people know that incident. Because after this thing happened, it's all over the news. After this disaster happened, a lot of news cover all the stories. So suddenly she become a celebrity, but she's already dead. She sacrificed herself. And Jigong Buddha want me to assist the Tao affair, because when she speak, her voice is very powerful, because everybody remember her. They want me to assist in the Tao affair, to let people understand about saving the soul in 3 realms, and to have more people to be saved by receiving Tao. So let's look at her testimony. I'm going to read to you, and so that
Taiwan or the mainland?
this happened in Taiwan. Okay, I'll translate to you. I am the teacher who take the kids to play. So the tour is happened in Taoyuan, and the tour bus caught on fire. And I'm the teacher who burned to death because I was trying to protect the kids. My name is Lin Jingjuan. So today I can come here. Oh, by the way, this is through the channeling message that she speak through a medium. So Lin Jingzhen 老师, Miss Lin Jingzhen say, today I can come here to speak to you because I want to share with you the precious of Tao. When this incident just happened, many newspapers have reporting about me. At that time, it was the spring break just finished, and I was so enthusiastic to take the kids for a field trip. So on that day, our destination is this place. And then later on, we decided that we are going to the zoo, the animal zoo. Unfortunately, on our way there, before we reached that destination, this incident happened. And when the fire started burning, all of us, the 23 people, are being burned alive. And within these 23 people, there are two parents from this. There are two parents from this group that I'm leading. So she said that. So on that day, I remember all of a sudden the fire broke. Originally, I have the chance to run away. But when I turn back, I see that the fire is going towards to those kids. Therefore, I returned to the car and tried to save those kids. And those kids were crying for mom and dad. The kids crying for mom and dad. And I tried to save the kids, but on a window are not open. So she used her hand to break the window. So she threw the kids out of the window. So one by one. So during this time, she had time to run away, but she still did not. So her job was to try to rescue as many kids as possible. She used her body to protect the kids, to shelter the fire, to burn the kids. But because the fire burned very fast, the fire originally starts from the driver's seat and it goes from the front and eventually comes to the back. So when we were burned and when the fire comes to the back, we have no way out. And there's a door by the back of the bus, but the door doesn't work. So she has two kids on the right, two kids on the left. And 5 kids were burned alive. And of course, there were some kids burned without the opportunity being saved by her. So I remember at that time I was reading the news. There was one kid. She tried to throw the kids out, but the kids say, no, I don't want to go out. I want to stay with you, because these kids love the teacher so much. The kids has 2 busy parents. The parents are so busy at work, they don't have time to take care of the kids. So these kids develop a very attached feeling to the teacher. So although these kids have the chance to get out, but he choose not to. So he was one of the kids also being burned alive. So when I was burned, I was 32 years old, and my soul depart from my physical body. So when my soul is up in the sky, I look down at that crime scene. I see that all our physical body are being burned. And I see all the kids are also with me too. We are all in the sky. And me and the kids cannot believe that we are dead. We want to go back to our body, but we cannot. So This is the point that I want to make to you. At this time, I see many karmic creditor lining up. They try to drag the kids with them. And this karmic creditor, in other words, they try to, let's take it back. So why this thing happened? Because all the kids, because all the karmic creditor, they come together, they create this, we can say that this disaster could be 50%, 50% is man-made, the other 50% is because of the karmic creditor, which caused this fire to burn. And all the kids are being dragged by this karmic creditor. That's why the fire got burned so fast. And they are trying to create that fire so that they can take as much life as possible. And this is her word, because our karma has arrived. The energy force has arrived. That's why we are burned to death together. At this time, I see Qigong Buddha. And this is the image that I see on TV. So Qigong Buddha tell me that he does not have any physical form. But in order for me to understand his Qigong Buddha, therefore he manifests his shape. He told me that at first I was able to run away from the crime scene and I can live 10 some more years. But because of my compassion towards the kids, therefore I'm burned to death. That's why Qigong Buddha come to rescue me. But so this is her word. All the kids are being dragged by the karmic creditor and they are all crying. Who is going to come save us? The kids say. So at first I thought that when we die, I'm able to take the kids and continue our journey. And I can take the kids to underworld, to the underground. But this is not what I thought. So now I realize that everybody have their own karmic debt. They are all being assigned. They are all being taken to a different destination. So some of the karmic energy are very vicious. And when the karmic energy try to take the kids, and because they are very violent, and I see that the Qigong Buddha try to calm them down. In other words, the Qigong Buddha, some Buddha and some Bodhisattva come to talk to this karmic force to calm them down, so that to quiet that situation, to resolve that animosity. So she continue on. So this is one thing that I want to emphasize to Giacomo. So this is the phrase that I was talking about that resonate with you were saying. So she say that this is what Qigong Buddha tell me. When a person die, the mind of benevolence, the last moment of mind, it's very important. And because when that incident happened, my mind is to feel with all the compassion, all the love, all the kindness. I want to give it to the kids. I want to save them. And because my mind is so strong, and that create a gush of energy from earth to heaven. And everybody, all the sentient, all the being, all the Buddha and Bodhisattva in the spiritual realm can see my gush of energy start from the bus to that heaven. They all witness this. Therefore, 老母 or 明明上帝 use his or her power, and he sent Qigong Buddha come to rescue me. So with this merit, Jigong Buddha said that I can stay in the spiritual realm for 500 years. And with this channeling opportunity, I hope that I can share my story to all the people, to tell them that it's important to try to do as much merit as possible, and then try to receive Tao, because if you don't receive Tao, the most that I can do is to reach to the spiritual realm. And once my 500 years is fulfilled, I will have to be reincarnated on earth again. So while I was alive, I did not have the conscience to do much good deed. I'm just a regular person, a regular girl. So now being able to speak to every one of you, I want you to understand that there's 3 realms in this physical realm. There's the physical realm, there's the spiritual realm, and then there's the supreme realm. And I hope that with me sharing the story, I can save more people. So that's the first story that I want to share with you. So I loved to learn about this story. Every time when I look at it, I feel that sense of energy inside of me. Sometimes I wonder if I'm that teacher, would I do the same thing too? Would I? Yeah. So what I'm saying is that all of us, we are very lucky, and we are very we have this deep affinity with Tao, and we all receive Tao. And with this deep affinity, we do not need to worry that when we pass away, where we are going. We don't need to worry that we will be taken to the underworld. We know for sure that we will for sure go to Tushita heaven to continue our cultivation. So some of us maybe can move higher than the Tushita heaven. You don't need to stay in Tushita heaven. If you can go further, you can go far, that's great. But at least we can enter Tushita heaven. So I urge you to remember the 3 treasures that you receive in the Tao ceremony. The first one is heavenly portal, which is the entry and the exit point upon your death. So when we are taking our last breath, please focus in our heavenly portal, because that will be our exit point for our soul. We don't want to exit from our ears. We don't want to exit from our eyes. We don't want to exit from our mouth. We don't want to exit from our nose. So there's different exit point. We don't want to exit from our belly button, because each exit represent different realm. Second, we want to remember the 5 words, the wordless sutra, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to recite that in your mind. So the more that you recite in your daily life, the more that you can use it when the time comes. When the time comes, it could be the times that you have a heart attack, maybe the times of earthquake, maybe the time of heat stroke, maybe accident happen, maybe you fall from the 2nd floor to the 1st floor. So something happened. So when that happens, you know what to do. You know what to recite. And then number 3 is the symbolic seal. So we always want to remember that. So then if you say, what if I am in an earthquake and my hand it cannot be moved? Then if your hand cannot be moved, it's okay. You can just use this too. But at least in the moment of our death, at least we are conscious, we can use our heavenly portal and we can recite those 5 words in our mind. The hand symbol, it just really depends where is your hand. In case of car accident, maybe you cannot move your hand at all, but your soul will know what to do. Your soul will know how to recite those 5 words. Silently, your soul will exit out from your heavenly portal. Let's see. Okay, so we still have time, so I can explain to you a little bit about the different channel that we exit from our body if it's not from the correct exit point. Peter, go ahead.
Oh, hi. I was very interested in the story you're just showing us. The one question is, this girl never had any she never went to any Tao temple, or she never received the Tao?
No.
She never talked to any Tao brother, sister to help her at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay. That's my question.
So if she have received Tao and this tragedy happens, she's trying to save everybody, she will be automatically go to the Tushita heaven because she received Tao. But she did not receive Tao. Therefore, the most she can go is to the spiritual realm. So Tushita heaven, it's a little bit higher than the spiritual realm.
Okay.
I have a picture that I can share with you. Let's see if I can find my picture. So having the heavenly portal, you understand? So that's why all the ascended sages have this aura around them. Okay. Oh, here. So this is heaven. This is spiritual realm. And this is physical realm. And this is Tushita heaven. So Tushita heaven, this is a more of a simplified version. Shakyamuni Buddha talks about this different, I think there's 32 space or 32 realm. So this is a more simplified version. So heaven here is the supreme heaven. So I'm sure most of us here cannot reach that 100% of cultivation. Therefore, we have to be in this Tushita heaven to continue our practice here. So if we have received Tao, we will go from the physical realm to the Tushita heaven. It's this route here. So this is Lin Jingzhen, Miss Lin Jingzhen's route. She go to the spiritual realm. But then after 500 years, she have to come back again. You see? Okay. So but in Tushita heaven, it's huge. There's the inner court and the outer court. So it depends on how much mirror that you have. If you receive Tao and if you have not done much, at least you can go to the outer court. But if you have done something, if you have done enough, then you can go to the inner court. So ultimately, we want to reach to the outer court and then go into the inner court. And then in the inner court, there's different spiritual session that we need to continue to cultivate. And hopefully, eventually, we will move to that supreme heaven. So Peter, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, yes, it did. It answered my question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. So we were talking about this. So from our different channel, it will have a different way of reincarnation. So let's see, from our ears, it will be our ears shaped like a fetus. So fetus more like a fetus. So it will be born as cow, the sheep, the pig, the horse. And if your soul exits from nose, you see our nose have a soft bone. So that represent the insects realm, which is the butterfly, the ladybug, all this bug here. And then if you come off, the soul come out from the mouth, our mouth is full of water. And that will be the sea animal or the sea creature. And this one, our eyes is shaped like a ball or like an egg. And this will be in the Avery realm. And if your soul come out from belly button, then that will be reincarnated as human. And in terms of human, of course, there's different level of human. There's different human being born in America, human born in Africa. So there's different level, and there's the poor people and the rich people. So it all depends. And if your exit point is from the top, it will be the future ascendant sages. But for us, our soul come out from the heavenly portal will allow us to enter Tushita heaven. I'm sorry, shouldn't allow us. It's for sure to go to Tushita heaven. Naman, go ahead.
Yeah, by top you mean head, right? You said if your soul comes out from top, by top
Yes.
you mean head?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So if our soul come out from the heavenly portal and it allow us to go to Tushita heaven, how does that work? It's through the power of Buddha Maitreya. If we receive Tao, and because our master, Tao master, have the heavenly mandate, and Buddha Maitreya promised us that we receive Tao, we automatically become his family, and we are in this Tao family, and we are for sure qualified to go to Tushita heaven. That's for sure, and we can stay there and continue our cultivation. Doesn't matter whether it's inner core or outer core, but we can continue our cultivation. But I say continue. So it depends on how much we left off. So if you want to reach to the 100 floors, you want to climb as much as you can in this lifetime, because in terms of cultivation, it's much easier to cultivate forgiveness, love, kindness on earth. If you go to Tushita heaven, you can cultivate, but without a physical body, it will be more difficult to cultivate. Does that make sense? And you say, why is it difficult? So I want to give you an example. Say there's 6 of us here. So if we are porcupine or porcupine, like the one that comes with a lot of thorn. My English teacher, Robert. Porcupine?
Yes.
Porcupine. Okay, so we have a lot of porcupine. It's a lot of thorns. So when we go to heaven, Tushita heaven, nobody is going to polish your thorn. because everybody have their own business to do. But on earth, we can polish our porcupine with our friends, family, with our coworker, and that polishment comes from our confrontation, come from our argument, come from our endurance and forgiveness. So every time when we have conflict with somebody, if we forgive them or they forgive us, and if we learn our lesson, and there's so many lessons that we need to take and we need to learn. So the more that we can grasp the lesson, the more polished we will be. So our thorn will be all dull. It will not be so sharp. In Tao Te Ching, many chapters talks about we need to be dull. Our eyes need to be dull. Do not be so sharp. Our ears, sometimes we need to pretend that we are deaf, right? Sometimes I hear, but I did not hear. And when we speak, we don't want to speak like a sharp knife. So it's a form of practice. But when we go to Shida heaven, it's just more difficult because nobody's going to polish you. So the polishment, the test of polishment, it's our responsibility. Okay, so on earth, while we are here, while we have this physical body, while we still have our parents, sometimes maybe we have a parent who is very agitated, who is very angry to us, or very always create some kind of a conflict with us. So what can we do? We want to polish so that we become more forgiving, we become more kind, we become more loving, and forgiveness is the key. And we become more acceptance, we become more accepting, and we become more soft. Do you know that all the Buddha and angel, they are soft? There's no way to hurt them. If you try to use a thorn to hurt them, they will just bounce back. They are soft. How do I know it's soft? Because I know one psychic reader, she can see angel and Buddha, they are soft. So Buddha, angel is more soft, like clouds, and Buddha is more like cotton. So she say that Bodhisattva is a little more hard than angel. Angel is more soft, but both of them are considered soft compared to human. So we want to be like that. We want to be soft. So if somebody come with an elbow, we want to be soft. If somebody try to hurt you, we want to be soft. We want to accept it and try to forgive. It's difficult, but it's the lesson that we want to learn eventually, because this is the journey that Buddha and Bodhisattva and Jesus gone through. Jesus was hurt. He was being crucified, yet he still say, Father, please forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Did Jesus forgive them? Yes. Did Jesus accept them? Yes. Jesus even want to forgive them. Robert, go ahead.
In your story about the woman and the bus, it reminds me, different groups have different interpretations of the three treasures.
Of course.
I tend to, and I don't claim to totally know the answer.
Of
But
course.
I claim, by just the years of working with the Tao Te Ching, in the Tao Te Ching, the three treasures are love or compassion, moderation and daring not to be the first in the
Mhm.
kingdom, or daring not to be the first in the world. And when I interpret the story, it tells me that that woman, with her compassion and love also that she had for those children, it saved her soul, because she went out the wrong way. And that's what you said. She went out the wrong way, and yet because of her compassion and love for those children, she gave up her life.
Correct.
She also saved herself. And so I'm not arguing
I think I
because
can.
I don't claim to know.
I think I
Just
know
saying
what you
that there
are saying.
are also, yeah, yes.
I think what you are saying. I want to give an example for Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa, she's Catholic. She, probably in her lifetime, she never received Tao. So where is she? Her place probably is beyond Tushita heaven. It's beyond Tushita heaven. So in order to go to heaven, receiving Tao is not the only way. There are many ways. But because the reason we are all sitting here is because we have this affinity with Buddha Maitreya. How come I'm not a Muslim? How come I'm not Catholic? Because I don't resonate with Catholic Church. I don't resonate with the Mormon. I don't resonate with the other religion. I resonate with Tao. So you don't have to receive Tao to go to supreme heaven. That's what I'm saying. Jesus went to heaven. He did not receive Tao. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, but I think also that there are things like, I equate love with Tao.
Yes.
And Jesus had, even though I'm not a Christian and never will be a Christian, I don't think. I think that is also the universal language.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
that love is the key.
Yes. Yeah. Love is the
About,
key.
to be
Love is the
honest.
synonym of Tao. Yeah. Yeah. We can say that too. Thank you, Robert.